after today's 10-1 victory over Albany. Coach, if you'll make an opening statement, and we'll open it up for questions. Please raise your hands for the mic.
Well, it was a great opening day for us. I'm pleased with the way we played. Our pitchers obviously threw the ball very well. We played great defense behind our guys, and the guys were full of energy today. They were full of togetherness. They were anxious for this day. They couldn't wait for it to get here, and I think they performed well. And I'm excited for them. But it's just one game, and we'll try to build on it and play well again tomorrow. I thought Clark set the tone for us a little bit. He wasn't as crisp as he's been in the scrimmages, but he still had good enough stuff and competed hard enough to get his fair share of outs. He's been much more clean in the scrimmages from his command, but that's not anything that I'm worried about whatsoever. You know, when he got in a groove a little bit there, maybe the second, third inning, or fourth and fifth inning, right there, and he was throwing great, but he got a little bit out of line, but he'll be fine. Other guys got in the game. Provey, Johnson, and Haswell threw the ball well. It's just a good opening day win for us, and like I said, we got another one tomorrow, and need to come to the park ready to play.
Brian.
You talked about yesterday, the main thing you wanted to see, how they would do against outside competition. So how nice was it to see like Dom Thompson-Williams and those guys get going this early in the season?
Well, I love the way our hitters competed against that pitcher. He's got a good arm. Kid was drafted in the 6th round out of high school, and he had a great Cape Cod league in the summer. And there was a lot of we call it brass, but there was a lot of cross-checkers, national cross-checkers, scouts at the top of the ladder there to see him today. So that tells you right there that he's very highly thought of with the arm strength he has, the stuff he has. So I think that was a great test for us right out of the gate to see a mid-90s arm with a good breaking ball. And we really competed hard against him to make him throw strikes and laid off some borderline pitches, wouldn't chase his breaking ball. And maybe we wore him down a little bit. I don't know. He's got a great arm and a great future. He's going to get things ironed out, and I'm sure have a good season. I think that's one of the things I'm most encouraged about. What happened today is we faced a really good arm, and our players competed hard, pitch for pitch, and eventually Jones got that big hit with the bases loaded, and that kind of gave us some separation, and we just kind of cruised from there.
Yeah.
Kind of along those same lines, were you happy with the way the newcomers came out and performed? I mean, if you look at Dom, and like you said, John, and just you said you hadn't seen them compete in the game. Were you happy with what you saw?
Yeah, and I've seen that. I mean, Dom and those guys, those older guys were ready to play, and they were anxious to play. And I thought Jonah Bride was terrific. Great play at third base, ran the bases extremely well. Jones is double in the gap. It goes unnoticed to the common fan, but it doesn't go unnoticed to the coach. I mean, he was touching second base before the ball hit the ground. And Jonah's a good baseball player and does everything right. Dom's a very good athlete, and obviously I kept telling you guys I think he's a difference maker for us, and I think you can see that. He certainly has some ability, and he had a good first game today. And Jones did well with the big hit and caught and played with some energy and some emotion. And I love the way T.J. Hawkins played and played great defense. Heck, he had 2 assists, I believe, in the outfield today, right, Andrew?
He did.
And threw a guy out at third and made a great play on a double play, and got a bunt down. He did well. So I was pleased with all our guys. This is a good team win, and I might have a few new faces in there tomorrow, but so I gotta try to let some guys play, to settle in on the lineup at some point here in the next 2 or 3 weeks.
Yeah.
I know there were a lot of guys you wanted to play. How many lineup cards you make out today? How many batting orders did you write before you finally settled?
I had, this is no joke, and I don't mean this, it's not funny, it's just kind of, there wasn't much separation with a lot of position players, and I had 13 or 14 players I wanted to play. And you could have walked in my office and looked on my board and saw, 5 or 6 different lineups with 13 or 14 different players. Eventually I had to pick one. And I picked a good one, so I'm 1 for 1.
David?
Chad, it's very clear Clark came back this year wanting to be the number one guy here. What's different about him this year from mentality or anything?
Well, obviously I think you guys can probably see, if you hadn't seen him in a while, he's much more physical. He's worked extremely hard in the weight room. He's put on weight. He's much more confident. He's just got a demeanor about him that, I went through it last year, and I didn't know what to expect, but I know what to expect now, and I can handle it. And I think that's his attitude and mentality, and he's a lot more confident than he was a year ago. He believes in himself. His stuff's better too. He's 92, 93 with a good sinker, and as well as I thought he threw well today. He's thrown a lot better, and I'm not saying he didn't throw well. I'm just saying that's how high I think his ceiling is. He just willed his way and competed today, and obviously kept them at bay. But he's dominated our guys, much worse than he dominated Albany today. And you got to give credit to Albany. I think we walked him. I think Clark walked him 4 times. That's uncharacteristic of how he's been throwing. And but that being said, I'm not picky. He threw well, but he's been dynamite over his last 3 weekends of scrimmages and stuff.
Any other questions for Coach? Oh, Rudy.
Chad, last year had some problems getting that key hit. First inning today, you get the first 2 guys on, then nothing happens out of that. Did the newcomers help play a role in maybe not having that same kind of little lack of confidence or whatever?
Well, you're gonna, when you face a good arm, and first of all, it's first game. A lot of those kids were having their first at bat, and so I was pleased with the first inning. Honestly, we didn't score, but we had people out there. His pitch count got up there. Looking through 3 innings, I don't know exactly what his pitch count was, but we made him work, and that was one of the good things I saw. And yeah, all our players, whether they're newcomers or the guys that were here last year, they have a different attitude. Now, I don't know if that guarantees us anything or if we're guarantees success or a great season. I don't know, but they're not thinking about last year, and they're a confident group. They feel good about themselves. They feel good about the work they've put in, and I don't think for a minute those newcomers have been. Obviously, they've helped change the dynamic of our locker room, and I think our older guys, returning guys, have fed off that some as well. But heck, some of our old guys that have been here before, Mooney and DC, they show you they can play defense with anybody tonight. And if you play defense and you pitch, you have a chance to win every game. And DC and Mooney kept those guys at bay and made some great plays behind our pitching staff. And I like the dynamic of our team and the makeup of our team. But we got to keep playing. It's just one game.
You talked yesterday about how this is like Christmas Day for baseball players. And John Jones and Don Thompson-Williams were up here earlier, kind of flabbergasted by what it was like in there by the fans. How special is that from your vantage point, just to see the players kind of taking it all in?
Well, I think they felt at home, and they were good. They weren't in all of the situation. They were ready to play. I could tell when they got here to the park, they wanted to get out there in front of everybody and play. And hopefully we can continue to put a good product in front of our fans, so our fans will get out of their seats and cheer a little bit more. And especially when the base is loaded and 3-2 counts, a couple of times I could hear a pin drop in there. And we got to get our guys. This place is built on passion, energy, and enthusiasm. And our fans can make it extremely hard on our opponents. But I think today our fans kind of just wanted to see what we had and sat back and watched us and stuff. But we need those 7,000 people to participate, and I think they will. I think they're going, because I think they're going to love watching these guys play, and they're going to. This is an easy group to like.
Any questions for Coach?